Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. I'm back with my plans and pans for the week. Well, on Wednesday, Dr. Fauci said that the United States of America has the worst outbreak in the world. He wasn't trying to goad anybody, he was just speaking the facts. And in the meantime, the President of the United States continues to talk about hydroxychloroquine as a real possibility. But he has had a change of heart when it comes to masks and said that patriots wear masks, which is a really good thing to say, although he continues to model rather bad behavior, I'm afraid. But let me give you some of the statistics. In Cook County in total, we have now seen 4,909 deaths and 108,000 cases that's as of Wednesday. And in Illinois, we have averaged about 1,500 cases a day over the last 2 weeks, which is really a sharp contrast to June, when our average was 700 cases a day. So, despite, I think, the hard work of the governor, the mayors, not just mayor, but mayors in many of our communities, despite that hard work, we the people have to do better. Please, masks, hand washing, do all the things that you need to do. Social distancing, it really does work. We've seen Arizona; those numbers drop when they really made a concerted effort to follow those rules. Um, there are ongoing negotiations right now on the next relief package. We called it, when we passed it in the House, the HEROES Act. And right now, the negotiators, see if you can think of anybody who's missing from this list. From the White House, we have the Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, used to be in the House, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, of course, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Where's Mitch McConnell? Well, Mitch knows that he absolutely does not have the votes to pass another bill right now. Only I think there's about 20 Republicans who have said absolutely not. They're not going to vote for it. So that means the negotiation really does have to be between the White House, the Senate, and House Democrats. So Nancy Pelosi is at the table, working very, very hard. And so we are appearing to get closer on the issue of the money for unemployed workers in this country. As you know, we had a $600 a week benefit for folks who were unemployed. That expired last Friday. And this is a really tragic situation in many cases. A lot of people don't still have their state-sponsored unemployment insurance. They've run out of the time there. And this $600 a week amounts to an average, if you work full-time, $15 an hour. So we're not talking about people living high on the hog and deciding to lean back. No, these are people who are really desperate right now. And so we are hoping that we're going to get to that $600 a week. The other thing that we think we may be able to get an extension on, because at the same time last Friday that the money stopped, there was also the end of the moratorium on evictions. So people would have no money and they could be evicted, and we are hoping that it will be extended. Now, I do want to say to the small landlords, I mean, that don't have a lot of property, not the Donald Trump kind of realtors and real estate owners, that I understand that. And we need to get help to you as well. And that's why there is a lot of money in the HEROES Act that would help landlords to get their money, to get those payments, as well as ending as well as continuing the moratorium on evictions. Then I wanted to talk to you about what's going on with federal law enforcement. I may have said to you last week, I'm not sure, what we've seen in Portland. This is what fascism looks like. This is what fascism is. When you had people in these unmarked uniforms, I guess, these scary outfits where you couldn't even see their faces, picking up people on the street and putting them in unmarked cars, going to unknown places. That's what fascism is. We don't want that here in Illinois. And the president has said he wants people to come to Chicago. And so what we know is that they have sent about 100 Homeland Security agents that are already deployed into Chicago. And there's been 3 arrests already. But Chuy Garcia, colleague from Illinois, and I sent the director of Homeland Security, or I should say acting director, his name is Chad Wolf, that we do not want to see these agents on the streets of the city of Chicago. We don't want those kinds of activities. If we want help from the Department of Justice in doing some investigations, looking at some gun control ideas, we're all for that. And the mayor of Chicago is for that. But we do not want to see anything like we saw in Portland. Now the census. This is every 10 years. It's in the Constitution. Have to count everybody. The President of the United States has said, we're going to cut collecting the census short by a month. It's going to end in September. He just said that. There's all kinds of activities trying to change that, because to have an arbitrary cutoff date is a bad thing, since we are in the United States at the lowest level for this time of year, or this period into the census, ever. We need to do better. And so, again, it's really up to us. It's up to you. You have to register for the census. $600 billion is distributed around the country. And a lot more of that will come to Illinois if we show that we have more people who are already here. This is people who are citizens and people who are not. If you are undocumented, we can assure you, I've done this before, that it is a felony, and there's huge fines, there's jail time for anyone who would let the information about the census get out. It is all secret. We just need to be able to count you, please, please, please. So this is what you do if you haven't done the census yet. You can go online to 2020census.gov, G-O-V, or call 844-330-2020. 844-330-2020. So please, if you haven't already signed up for the census, we all need you. We all need each other to do that. So vote by mail. I know in my congressional office, I've been getting a lot of calls from constituents about the mail service, and that it's slow and that you haven't gotten your mail for a while. This is deliberate on the part of the administration. They have cut overtime hours for people who are willing to work it. They have said, well, you can let this mail lay over for a day. Now, why would they do that? Well, the administration has been against the census from day one, but there's a political reason, and that reason would be to undermine confidence in the census. so that efforts to make vote by mail. Now, understand, voting by mail exists in every single state because they have absentee ballots. We used to have that in Illinois. I'm not going to be in Cook County. And so on that day, I can't make it. So I have to vote by mail. I have to vote absentee. So they have every state has some form of vote by mail. What we want is one that doesn't require any excuses to vote by mail. And so this slowdown that has happened at the post office is a real problem. And there's one other thing that I'm concerned about. The new commissioner of the United States Postal Service, Mr. DeJoy, has investments in direct competition to the U.S. Postal Service. He, like the UPS and the trucking company called J.B. Hunt. And so we are very concerned that, and by the way, the original reason why he was picked to be head of the U.S. Postal Service is because he's a really big donor to the President of the United States. So we have the Oversight Committee doing a hearing about all of this, and we are going to continue to work to get your mail properly sent to you and on time. And finally, about Russia paying bounties in order to kill American soldiers for each one that they kill in Afghanistan. So President Trump sat down with Jonathan Swan from Axios. That's the television interview that you may have seen. And the reason he says that he really doesn't know anything about this, it didn't get to his desk. Now, we happen to know that it was in the daily briefing, but does he listen to daily briefings? Does he really have daily briefings that the staff works up for him? That's really a big question. I do want to say a thank you to those of you who expressed good luck to me, because tomorrow I am going to get my new knee. I'm excited about that. I'm not worried a bit. As I said before, I really love the idea of replaceable parts. And so I am looking forward to that. I'm definitely, though, going to be talking to you next week. I can give you an update. Be careful, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, and let's try and bring those numbers down in our communities. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.